แบบนี้แอปจะเป็นแบบโอ้โห
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect, an online leadership community where leaders create more leaders. This is a CSR initiative by Bija Training and organized by the Mask Leadership. I'm Go Prabhakaran. I work for My Big Break. Leaders Connect is started with the specific objective of creating 1,000+ leaders, all the working professionals and business people who are facing real-time challenges in leading self, leading others, and in leading their businesses. Share them on our website, themaskleadership.com. We read through all the challenges, filter them, and every week on Wednesday, we invite a top management leader from the corporate world and look forward to solutions for our real-time challenges on leadership. That's our way to leaders create more leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will give you the opportunity to speak to our guest, Dr. Saumya Badgayan, Vice President, Corporate Strategy, HR and Industrial Relations from Gold Star Jewellery Private Limited. Before going further, let me also share that we are currently live on Facebook, and this episode LC053 is being recorded. For the visitors who are joining for the first time, you may also click on the WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get updates on weekly basis and join our mission, creating more leaders. So if you are all ready to interact with our honorable guest, Dr. Saumya Badgayan, the topic today is diversity in workplace. If you're ready, please type yes in the chat box. Start. Great. Thank you. Thank you. So before introducing the guest, let me also take the privilege to introduce the founder of the Leaders Connect, Mr. Prakash Sharma, who will lead the interaction with our guest, along with our panel discussion leader, Mr. Devarayan, HR head from Hitachi Energy. Prakash.
Great. Thank you very much, Prabhakaran, and welcome all. Welcome, Dr. Saumya, for this Leaders Connect platform. Thank you very much for joining in. Welcome all the members as well as the visitors who have joined us for today. And yes, it's been a privilege that we have Dr. Saumya here for the specific topic, which is diversity in the workplace. To go more deeper, let's understand first a quick profile or what's the professional experience of Dr. Saumya. And over to you, Prabhakaran, just have a share her LinkedIn profile and then we'll go ahead with the video.
Wonderful. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Saumya, our guest of honor for the week. And we have also shared the LinkedIn profile on the chat box. So feel free to connect with her over LinkedIn. Now let's watch the AV about our guest.
So welcome all, and all the members and visitors, please do type welcome Dr. Saumya on the chat box. And yes, she's here with us today for a quick discussion or sharing her experiences all about diversity in workplace. So welcome, Dr. Saumya.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Yes, our pleasure being that you've been here. Members, Dr. Saumya was in fact referred to us by Mr. Sahil Nair, who was also a part of our leader, in fact, a couple of months before. And it's a great honor that I was also able to connect with Dr. Saumya for us today. So Saumya, a quick topic, and I will also introduce our panel discussion leader. But before that, I'm sure a lot of points are there and a lot of experiences you have. And we are a little eager to listen to your experience on diversity in workplace. And definitely a lot of aspects of that diversity. Let's make it more and more clear about how it is for all the members and visitors. Here is where the experience sharing of Dr. Saumya. So for which to have a panel discussion with Dr. Saumya, I request Mr. Devarayan to be a part of the discussion. So Devarayan is from Hitachi. He is the HR head from Hitachi. So yes, Mr. Devarayan, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Prakash. Welcome, Dr. Saumya.
Thank you. Pleasure to be on the same panel as you.
Thanks a lot. Yes, Prakash. So, okay, quickly getting into the subject. So, it's apt topic and apt person as a panel guest to answer those queries from our members, right? And it is my privilege to ask on behalf of them. So, let me go to the first question. So generally, when we talk about diversity, there is always a misconception that it's only the gender diversity, right? Whenever we talk about diversity in most of the companies, wherein people who deal with the diversity know what are all the diversities, but otherwise, generally people thought about it's only the gender diversity. So, what is your thoughts on diversity as a whole?
And a very, very poignant post by you, sir. And I would say that this is something that absolutely is a very boxed concept in the way that we deal with things like this. When we talk about diversity, usually we box it into LGBTQ and whatever. But we don't look beyond it, because to me, diversity is something which is in your thoughts, which is in your deeds, and which is in the way that you execute an action. Diversity for me is something wherein we do away with discriminations, in any sort, whether it is caste, creed, sex, gender, age. In today's time, we're seeing working women coming back, 58 is the age of retirement. Why? There you are paying insurance to get real life expectancy high, and you're retiring people at 58. Also, what we've seen is that many times we also tend to look at it in a certain way, as in a community way, wherein we say that Maharashtra is only for Maharashtrians, or South of India is only for South Indians, and North of India is only for North Indians. Why? We're Indians at the end of the day. So when we're talking about diversity, it is much larger a spectrum wherein nationalities integrate with each other, mindsets integrate with each other, and we create a beautiful environment wherein we really give the best juices out. It is to do away with differentiation and yet creating a distinction in the mindset, in the way that we collaborate and come out with the purpose for which an ecosystem is built, whether it is an organization, a nation, or whatever. It is just an ecosystem in which we are just thriving and trying to build it up thereon. So these are my 2 cents on it.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Thanks a lot. And actually, see, that's how maybe we need to just make sure that, the misconception has to be broken. So that's the reason we have asked this first question to you. And diversity is not about only gender, it is about the nationality, it is about
in fact, even in corporates, when we talk about which B school are you from? Oh, I am from IIM. And then suddenly you'll see another student who is just a new entrant is like, I'm not from an IIM, but am I eligible to even apply for a job? You know, if you see wherein we bring in those elements, and why so, you know, and education cannot always be a compass for intelligence. It can always say that, yes, you come with a very rigorous or an academic rigor, which was far more superior than what others have gone through. But definitely, you know, so, and also when we talk about, like, I come from gems and jewelry industry. So the first lesson in diversity that I remember, my mother was like, hey, what are you going to do with jewelers? You've done your MBA from Symbiosis. I mean, she couldn't fathom that I am in an organization which has 4,000 employees, and we 100 crore, 100% export-oriented unit with 7 units there. So she just couldn't fathom it. She was thinking that we are sitting in the same Zaveri Bazaar by-lanes and doing some tuk-tuk, you know, kind of, and making jewelry. So yeah, just to bring it
Yeah, true. That's very that's very true. You have shared your own experience that, you know, the mindset, or, you know, what do you call it as, this is how it functions. So all the, you know, the all the old systems got broken down by the new ways of happening, right? It's very good that, you know, you have shown told your own example. Good. So let me go to the second question. Like, you know, we talk about diversity, right? Like, you know, definitely, yeah, we wanted to improve the diversity. Are talent pools readily available in the market? Like, you know, maybe say for an example, I go for a gender diversity, or guy for a LGBT, or I will go for a kind of, you know, what do you call it as a different cultural person, or a different linguistic person, or different background person. But is there a ready-made talent pool available within? Because, you know, most of the times I think we are in a manufacturing and an engineering setup, right? Like, you know, you when you do, we are Hitachi Energy more deal with electricity, electrical equipments and other stuff. So when you talk about those heavy industries, so are the talent pool available, or is there any steps we should improve the talent pool in that particular stuff? Just want your thoughts.
So my thoughts on it, this would be, sir, either we aspire to create and to get people ready-made talent pool, or we perspire and create our own talent pool. The choice is with us. The second is, if Tatas can create an ecosystem wherein they said that transgender people can come and work with my heavy machinery or earth-moving equipments, I think we are there, but we still need the government machinery to be that much more inclusive. So what happens is that I want to have, and we have included a lot of LGBTQ in our ecosystem. I'm just giving the example of LGBTQ and people with special abilities. These two examples I will give. Now, when I get people from the LGBTQ background, and these are trans men and trans women, their birth certificate carries a different name, and what they want to be known as is a different gender name. Now the fun begins. The fun in the sense that I want to give them insurance, but the insurance company says, this is a man. The maternity leave or the surgical procedures won't apply to them. And I am fighting, this is a female. They will not get it. All right. Second, so I function out of seats. So when they are coming inside seats, where is your Aadhaar card? The Aadhaar card, which is supposed to be the foundation, has a man with a mustache, and here I have a fully endowed female, because the transition has happened. Now, how do I fight that? Second, most of the people, they are not appreciated with what they are born with or what they want to be known for in their homes. So these people actually run away from their homes and they get into shelter homes. They don't have any certificates. They don't have any mark sheets. They have nothing to prove that they are even existing on this earth. That really wrenches my heart out, because you want to help them, but the government machinery is not there to support it. Now, when I come to persons with special abilities, especially people who are deaf and mute, we don't have enough schools or enough skill-based schools who can even teach them the basics. So while they come in and they want to work in our environment, in the manufacturing, it is very difficult for us to even make them understand the nuances of the loss. How do I make them understand that if they lose a diamond or if they overpolish, a jewelry, that is that much of process loss that is getting incurred? And that actually is equitable to eroding my profits, because no one has taught them. So you start to build them up slowly and steadily. And the moment you build them up, you will have a crisis again at your hand, because these people would then want to then move on. So either you take it that you did good for the society, bless them, let them move, find greener pastures, or you try to retain them with the other benefits. Now, this is where I would say that it should be a bi-pronged approach, wherein industry as well as government machinery coupled with the education system should form a consortium and should come forward to help people from various communities to come and get inducted in the system. Now, I wanted to do something for the prostitutes, people who are in the flesh trade. I did do it. I did bring people back and got them included in our organization. After some point of time, I get this much for just one night. Why do I need to slug for the whole month? And to break that mindset is very difficult. As a woman, talking to another woman, when it comes to a lifestyle change that they have already tasted back then. So, you have to work at various levels and at various degrees, and also with a heightened sense of empathy, because they will not understand our point. We have to be in their shoes and make them come on board with us.
Yeah, very true. Wonderful, the real life experiences you are sharing, and along with this, and it will be definitely very useful for the other leaders to get, to get to know what you are doing in your organization and how they can implement there. And hats off to you, you are bringing such people, such such people to back to the normal life. What we call it as a normal life, right? From their from whatever they have deviated, and you are bringing it back to the normal life. And it's a very good. But to my question, definitely, yes, as I asked you, whether talents are available, or we need to, but definitely, as you rightly said, we need to develop tools to equip them, equip the diversified force to be more skillful, right? They're ready, and people are willing to take, but in between the process or the tools are not there to equip them to be ready to work with us. And so it's a very good takeaway on this particular point, actually.
Thank you.
Good. So the next one is, okay, so part of the question I've answered in the last answer itself, but see, we are engaging a lot of diversities, because, most of the MNCs and the big companies have taken a stand to engage workforce, let it be gender, or let it be, what do you call it, as with the disabilities or differently abled, whatever it is.
True.
What are the challenges as a company you face when you engage all those people in your organization, and how do you overcome that?
First and foremost, we are in gems and jewelry industry. So the security aspect is the backbone, because we have to go through the handheld, detectors, metal detectors, and scanners, and through that HMDI it is known as, and then only we are allowed to pass through. Now, when it comes to the LGBTQ and the trans men and the trans women, इनको check कौन करेगा? Trans men को women don't want to check, all right, and because they have still not transitioned, and trans women, males don't want to check them because the transition has still not happened. So that is where the problem happens. And then we have to actually tell our guards that you have to look at it very clinically. how nurses would go or how doctors would approach a patient. A patient won't have a gender. So you have to look at employees genderless. That's what our training started off with. Now, second is people who come with prosthetics, whether it is even a simple thing as a tooth. When the metal detector goes and it starts beeping, you know, and it is like, open your mouth, do this, this, that, you know, everything and the whole 9 yards starts happening. Then we have people who come with, you know, crutches or even who have prosthetic limbs. And when you have prosthetic limbs, they have a hollow space in the middle. So those many times they have to take it off, you know, shake it that there's nothing inside, then again wear it, and it used to create a blockage, a chicken neck, and then that used to in fact affect my lunch time because production cycle used to get affected. Correct? And I'm sure from manufacturing you will understand that that 15 minutes of tea break and 45 minutes of lunchtime is
all counted.
all counted. So now one person was exhausting 15 minutes of the time. So what we did was that we took all these people with special ability and created a different cell for them. And when we created a different cell, it eased out the pressure in the other departments. So these are the steps that we took. So first was the security aspect. Now, second was sensitization. Now, if I know that this person is a trans woman, trans man, and if this person is a prostitute, would you still respect the person? And believe me, we believe in transparency. We were not hiding information. We were only curtailing information. In fact, if someone wants to go out and be open, we were okay with it. So this female went out and said, well, I had a life that was not what I had wanted, and I was in the flesh trade. And the unit HR was petrified and mortified that what if, you know, she starts soliciting within the organization or someone approaches her with that intent. Thankfully, by the grace of God and with the maturity of the organization that we've built in, nothing of those sorts happened. In fact, that woman was so cared for that she started off as a bench worker, and today she has risen to the post of supervisor in the same department. She is now doing the QC. Thank you. And I think that we are very blessed that even though we are in a very traditional industry, my management is super sorted in the way that they think. That if we say that this is something that we should experiment, and they let us, you know, experiment with certain things. So that's what we are doing. And these are the few hurdles that I could say. So there were mindset hurdles. You know, when we got in eunuchs inside, and I said, my God, if something happens, they'll start clapping their hands and there'll be another ruckus created. But then nothing of those sorts happened. We started getting, you know, people with special abilities, and we said, what if they don't understand our language? But believe me, there was equal effort put in by those people because even they want to be included. I even shouldn't be using those people and they are, because we are a family now. So that's how, you know, little steps, small doable steps, which creates a bigger impact is what we should aspire to do. I would also say that each organization is its own being, its own family, and you need to know what works well for your family. One size does not fit all. Please do not copy paste from some other organization and say, well, this is what we would do. It does not work.
True, it's customized.
Rightly said. Absolutely customized.
Yeah, every organization has its own processes, own priorities, own security and safety items, right? You know, it has to go through that. Well said. And these challenges are like, you know, basically I'm from a compliance background. When you ask me about the challenges, I will talk about the restrooms or or the lunch rooms or whatever it is, and the benefits, whatever it is going to them. Those are all the issues, right? Like, you know, I cannot say issue, but we have to be prepared for all those things. Like, you know,
Absolutely. So like you said about the restrooms, so each floor, thankfully we were blessed that each floor had a male toilet, a toilet for females, and then there was an executive toilet. That executive toilet was then converted into the third gender toilet.
True, true.
So that's how we managed, So it was easier for us to do it because the infrastructure was in place. It was just renaming the infrastructure. Had there not been infrastructure, then we would have said that it is up to what a person identifies himself or herself with, because even creating a third gender unit is again differentiating them from us. So that's what our take would be.
True. It's again, I would appreciate that, it's a determination, right? Like, the company or we have determined to engage them. So whatever the hurdles or challenges are, just definitely, yes, we will face it to overcome that, not to get depressed by that and lose the interest. So we determined to do that. So that's the very interesting fact which I can able to relate in your story of the which you are narrating till such time. Good. So actually, one example to quote here is like, maybe when you want to bring in the diversity, my boss told in one of the meeting that you reduce the size of the job description of the employee, right? Like maybe you have 3-4 pages of job description. The person has to be 6 feet height, or he should be have a big mustache, or whatever it is. Like it goes to 2 pages and 3 pages. When you reduce the JD, you will have a lot of options because you can bring in the other competencies inside.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cut down the entire system for people.
So that's how see, it's a very simple thing. And even he quoted, you are electing a chief minister and a prime minister. What is the prior experience he has? He's holding the highest office of the country, and you are electing without any experience. The prime minister is been elected because without any prior experience, and the chief minister is elected without any prior experience, who is farming highest degree of office. But you are putting lot of conditions to select a peon or what do you call it, as telecaller or whatever it is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very jovially he said, but it's very informative and factual actually.
So true. So true.
Good. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your insights. I know that's all are my questions, and hopefully I will hand it back to Prakash and for the next series of things. Thanks, Dr. Saumya.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks very much, Devarayan. Awesome questions which has been asked on behalf of the members, and a couple of members from different background, different industries. And on behalf of them, we have taken up these questions, which is really great and awesome. And wonderful answers, Saumya. I'm happy to listen to your real life, real-time experiences at Gold Star Jewellery, which you're doing. Really hats off to such experiences. Wonderful. It's a great initiative. In fact, when even Kevin Care also does the same, and I was very happy as a part of a disability. They're all including all the disabled people also to work along with them, which is all really making us feel very good about it while we're working across. So thanks very much, Saumya, for excellent points told. And I'm sure people who are from the different organizations who are working, let's start bringing up such thought process of being more open and start including different people. It could be, look at the thought process, including, they could be transgenders, they could be blind, they could be handicapped, but let's start including them, which is a thought process as a powerful leader where we'll be doing. So great, Saumya. So members and visitors, now is the time for a quick quiz question to ask. So let's understand what all, in fact, Dr. Saumya has shared. And after the quiz question is where I'll be also introducing you to the author of the week. So fastest fingers first, all the members. So quickly, the quiz question is very simple. Okay, before me sharing about this week's quiz, let me introduce or share you the last week's quiz winner. So the last week's quiz winner is Miss Nisha Velmurugan. She has received a book from Miss Bhuvana Pashupati on demystifying teenagers. Great. Congratulations, Nisha Velmurugan, on receiving this particular book. And we quickly keep going ahead and read it. We get a lot of experiences from our author, Ms. Bhuvana Pashupati. So thank you very much, Bhuvana, for coming in last time as the author of the week. So members, let me also share with you my privilege to introduce you also Ms. Ambika, Ms. Abhiramika. Before I do that, let's finish up the quiz question and then do so. So fastest fingers, quiz question is going to be here now. All the members and visitors. Dr. Saumya said that you all are aware a company which has also included transgenders to work along with them. Which company was it which she told in her experiences? Quickly, she might have told many companies. First company she said, example, okay, Nellai Nayagam says one, which is Gems India. Good, Nellai. Anybody else? Wow, Bhuvana Pashupati says Tatas. Wow, okay. Great. Yes, there were different experiences also from the other Gems company, which she said, which is Gems India, but Tata's is the first, in fact, the company which Dr. Saumya gave as an example, where they had started including also transgenders to work along with the normal people. The level of thinking process to show equality to people is tremendous. And we should start integrating such thought process within us as well. So congratulations. So Bhuvana Pashupati gets the author of the week, gets the she's the winner of this week's quiz. So congrats, Bhuvana. So all the members type congratulations, Bhuvana. So Bhuvana, congratulations. And you will be getting a book today from the author of the week. Okay. So Bhuvana, I will also give you an opportunity to ask a question to Ms. Saumya, but after I introduce the author of the week. Great. So congratulations all. Let me take the privilege now to introduce Ms. Abhirambika, who is the author of the week today. All right. So Ms. Abhirambika hails with a lot of experiences, and let me quickly share her experience. What all? Is a certified ICF coach, and she's having more than 20 plus of years of experience, and she's CEO of a company called Green Minds. This organization specializes in people and organizational development, and they support behavioral transformations and in bringing in change. She's a very avid learner and she loves life. So with this, living with the inner focus and evolve with fullness into all her training and coaching practices. So this book is what, in fact, Abhirambika has written, which is called The Life Fullness. So Abhirambika, which is an excellent book which you have written, your experiences which you have shared on the book, we're happy to see that particular book. We will listen to you about the book. What is that book all about in a glimpse, in 2 minutes? If you could help us to know what this Life Fullness book is all about, that will really add a lot of value. Over to you, Ms. Abhirambika, as the author of the week.
Thank you, Prakash, for that lovely introduction. So, hello everyone. I'm happy to be here, and Saumya, it was great listening to you. So, a lot of insights. Thank you for that. So, just to share about this book, this is a self-help book. Like, you know, as leaders here, many of us would have gone through coaching professionally in terms of leadership coaching or executive coaching. But really, a lot of people have this doubt about how can a coach help me in my life? Yeah, or is it that a coach can help me only when I have a challenge or a problem that is there, right? That's many times when individuals come for coaching, this was always a question that was asked. So I thought to break that myth or break that idea among people, there should be something where they experience coaching in their own way, in their own style. So that's this book all about. It's a self-help book. If you see, it's an activity book. It's not a book to just read. It's a book for you to work on. There is lots of activities. There are reflective questions. There is affirmation. So basically, it's something for you to keep it as a journal, your personal space. So I was happy that it got launched very recently, and looking forward to many of you reading it, trying it out, and letting me know how you like it.
Okay, thank you very much, Abhinambika, for joining us and as author of the week. For the members and visitors, every week we also invite an author. Just to share that all the people who are leaders here, but even the authors are the people who are actually also able to give us certain solutions. So feel free to interact with each one of us. That's the reason we create this platform called Leaders Create More Leaders. So we all are here to help each other and get connected more, network with each other. So thanks very much, Ambika, for sharing it. And for all the members who want to buy Ambika's book, her link for buying it at Amazon is also there in the chat box. Feel free to get it. And Abhinambika, as we understand, you're also able to give this one particular book to the quiz winner for today. Am I right, Abhinambika?
Yes, yes, I can see Bhuvana, so I'll have that book given to you.
Thanks very much. So
Thank
Bhuvana
you very
Pashupati-
much. I'm waiting for the book.
Sure, Bhuvana, sure.
Great, great. So Bhuvana Pashupati is also there. She's been author for the last week. Great, that's very nice. So Bhuvana and Abhinambika, you get a quick question to ask Dr. Saumya about the particular topic today. So if you have any, that would be really great. And then is where the questions will be open questions to Dr. Saumya from all the participants, the members, as well as visitors. If you still have any questions, two ways to ask the questions. One, either type the question in the chat box, or two, you can unmute yourself, raise your hand so that we unmute you and you can ask the direct question to Dr. Saumya. So first, maybe let's take a question from Abhinambika and Bhuvana. Abhinambika, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so Saumya, when you were sharing, about different kind of people that you brought into your job in an organization, one question that came up, I'll tell you why this came up. So when my son in his school, it's an inclusive school, so they have different kind of challenged kids in the same class. And from the very beginning, so from his LKG, he's seeing kids like that. But it took him a lot of time, not just him, it took him all of his friends, a lot of effort and time to understand how to behave. A simple question, if I put a toy down, I am supposed to keep it back in the shelf, whereas my other person puts the toy down, he doesn't get to keep it back and the teacher is okay with it. So I found it very, very challenging to explain to my son that there is a difference. So at an organizational level, while you have this idea and HR is supportive and all, how do you make sure that the people with whom they are working with are also equally supporting the idea and are able to embrace this diversity?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful question. The first is that how would you create a buy-in? You have an idea, but how many people are going to walk with you in that idea? So when you create a buy-in, there is a way. So you always have people who are, like in your, like someone gave a very beautiful example of you choose a prime minister, and when you have statesmen, you also have spokesperson. So who are the spokesperson in your organization? Who are the movers and shakers in the organization? Who are the influencers in the organization? You have to create a buy-in with those voices. Once those voices are okay, then they become people who are going to convert the others. So it becomes like an MLM, it is an STD that goes on, and then people start connecting to each other. The second important thing is that how much are you connected to that idea? And what is it that the other person is going to take pride in that idea? Correct? So if you don't take a pride in an idea or in a thought process of an organization, you will never find that sync with those and will never align with those thought processes. The second we did was that we created a sense of pride that no one else in the industry is doing it, but you are. And you are the people who are going to be the cheerleaders, people who are less fortunate than you in every other spheres of life. And third definitely was sensitization, wherein we called in and we started having skits, dramas, plays, wherein what is the pain points on the other side was being told. And that created and evoked a lot of sympathy and empathy within, the people. So it did not happen overnight. It did not happen overnight. It was a process. It was a good 3 years process, excluding the 2 years of COVID. So it was a good 3-year process wherein we started sensitization, process, and started creating an inclusive environment. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome, Saumya. 3 years, definitely that level of patience where people need to have, the leaders need to have. You need to create such kind of a mindset of all the employees and doing it. So wonderful, excellent.
It started from the top management, Prakash ji, because top management is a typical Gujarati led organization. Very, 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 I would say that they are very rigid mindset.
Yes.
और हर थोड़ी देर में ये हो जाता है आंसू छे. What's this? आंसू छे. And I'm like, hold on, guys. But then they are willing to change, and hats off to them that coming from that traditional mindset, they did make this whole turn. And that was something that I just feel overwhelmed toward what they did, because this was something that was not even part of what industry would even fathom.
Super. Excellent, Dr. Saumya. Traditional top management, which is already there, more shifting them to a completely accepting the diversified people. It's really a big challenge, and doing it that's when we are talking about such leaders. Wonderful, Dr. Saumya. Great. So, Abuna, do you have any question to Dr. Saumya, or we'll take the other two questions? Yeah, please go ahead. Then we will take a question. We will also take a question. Next is from Archana. I believe she's shared the chat box. Can you take it up? Yes, Bhuvana, please go ahead.
Yeah, I had almost a similar question like the previous speaker asked. But now I would like to clarify one thing with Saumya. These people who are differently abled or say from different backgrounds, they come with a baggage, right? Yeah. So how do you integrate them into the main society minus their baggage?
Oh, amazing question again. And thank you, Bhuvnaji, for that. Well, first it is, we always talk about unlearn and relearn. So the breakdown of mindsets happens at both the levels. You have to do a mindset realignment at a management level as well as at an employee level. It is very much akin to a new employee walking in your organization and you're inducting them. It's also very akin to a new bride walking in your family and you're aligning her. Now these are the new customs that you need to follow. So when you're doing that, there's a little bit of discipline of the sasuma, of the mother-in-law. There's a lot of pampering of the husband, which is the HODs that happens. And there is a lot of cajoling, a lot of motivation that comes from the other family members, which is the HR or the shared services. So the whole environment actually gears up together and does the hand-holding. Like I gave you the example of, prostitutes when we brought them in, we really had this fear that what if they start soliciting clients within them, because this is not even one part of the salary, and this I would get for a night. I'm being very vocal, pardon me for that, but this is something that that we need to discuss very openly about. But then we needed to tell them about dignity, earning with respect, and what it is all about. So you had to really bring them to the way that your deeds are not only impacting you, a little bit of some emotional things we had to get in, that it is also going to impact your kids. And how are you going to have a family if you're going to be in this? And of course, then you become a commodity and the shelf life of a product is very limited. So you had to actually explain to them, getting down at their level and telling them that this will ebb. What is not going to deteriorate is your gray matter. So, think on those lines. So that's how we trained them.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Excellent example shared, Dr. Saumya. That is awesome. Yeah. So let me take up the one more situation, one more question from Archana has come up here. I mean, okay, Archana would like to ask, let me ask directly since she's already put in the message. Archana asks saying that, could you please cover up how we can handle diversity when it is a work from home scenario? Okay, so, okay, and in our organization, there are people from different regions and they seem to be disassociated. Any ideas or even tips they give, they are only disassociated and it's becoming challenging even from working from home scenarios. So that's the question which has been asked.
So working from home and diversity is something which I feel is much more manageable because you are already in a very comfortable ecosystem in your homes. So there's nothing to manage. The only thing that we need to manage are the timelines because 9 to 5 is now 9 to dark. Okay. So that is something that we really need to think about. But diversity is more of when you are at a particular work scenario, because it is the conflicts of mindsets, conflicts of thoughts, conflicts of cultures, conflicts of baggages that people come with. But when you're at home, those conflicts automatically ease out to a greater extent. So that does not happen. And yeah.
Rightly said, in fact. In fact, even I would like to just add on to what you have shared, Dr. Saumya. For Archana, you could see even diversity in accepting locations nowadays. Now, gone are those days where we only used to recruit from only a particular city and we want only to get people from a particular city. Now we started recruiting people across the country and from different levels as well. So that's also as a part of a diversity with respect to the locations, if you want to share. And this itself shows that your company is also accepting people from different regions, so which is really good. Great. So great. So Archana, if you want to still share, I believe you raised your hand. If that is answered your question, great. And any other participants would like to ask you any questions, that will be really great. Else we will come to a summary of the particular program of this specific topic, which is diversity in workforce. Okay, we have one more which is asked by Giri Selvaraj. Okay. Okay, the question is how to retain the employees when they want to leave the next day. They stop for their working. Okay, but okay, Giri Selvaraj, this is a little away from the particular topic what we have been discussing. However, I really appreciate your question. What you have asked, Mr. Giri Selvaraj, you're talking about how do we retain the employees? Is what you're talking. Is it connected to the diversity in the workplace? Then we'll be happy to add. Otherwise, there is in the upcoming next month, we are having the similar topic on retaining the employees. Is going to come up in the month of December, and we will be happy to share certain solutions on that the same. Great. So that will be really adding value. Thank you very much. So any other people are there who want to ask any questions? Great. Else we'll come to a conclusion and we'll summarize all the points of what we have spoken and what you've understood from Dr. Saumya.
May I?
Yes.
Ma'am, generally, we come from a school of business insecurities, then ROI, then why this extra effort when we are already struggling to hire people, when we are already having so many problems, why do we have to add more problems, and what is the kind of returns that we are going to get? This is the mindset we are generally into. In such a scenario, having broken this thing, mindset, and having brought into that, say once again, the traditional investor, changing his mindset, hats off to you. That was well done.
Thank you.
In my perception, it is, unless mandated, we don't generally introduce all these quota systems into our
absolutely.
So if there has to be a 50-50 women representation, then there is a difficult task. If there is, unless there is a quota system, we don't get into any of these deals. How come this thing can be without force fitting anything? How can this much be done? Because there is also an infrastructure that needs to be built alongside. Luckily, in your place, you had an alternate to be immediately recast. Otherwise, in a general, already hand-to-mouth living that most of the businesses are in now. So how do we introduce this inclusivity in such a scale where it becomes normal?
Well, thank you so much, sir, for the question. And I would go back to what you mentioned about having women representative in the board. So what usually happens is in a family-run organization, they'll go scouting for family members who are in the in the family, someone's wife, someone's sister-in-law, and yes, my board is complete because I have fulfilled the criteria laid down by the law. Now, if you are in that kind of a scenario, then I think from a good organization, you will become, or from a better organization, become a good organization. The aspiration is to become an outstanding and an organization which is sustained beyond a particular person's lifespan. Now, how would you create it? Otherwise, I create an ecosystem which is going to perish as long as I'm alive. It is going to flourish. With my death, it is going to perish.
True.
Now, what we need to think is beyond this. Now, why has UN come up with sustainable development goals? कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, हमको सूरज से रोशनी मिल रही है, बहुत है. Why do we need to generate electricity out of it?
True.
We don't need it. But what happens is, and then we are looking at the electricity and we are saying, oh my God, what happened to that guy who created the bulb? Mr. Edison would be turning twice in his grave. But then we are still doing alternative energies. With Tesla came up and built battery operated car and then self-driving car, and the most primitive of the profession, which was chauffeurs and drivers, and we used to take so much pride saying that, oh my God, I have a chauffeur driven car, is all gone. So what I'm saying is that we are in a transition. It is the shark teeth effect. We are constantly going under an ecdysis. If we do not change, we will never improve on the existing, and we will rot where we are. So the need of doing it is constant improvement to better than what we were yesterday. And third is that when we have created an organization, the purpose is not just profits. The purpose of the organization is much larger. How many faces can you bring the cheer into? What is the vision and mission of the organization? And if you're able to do that, I think we have done a better part of the job.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much, sir.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks very much for the question, Prabhakaran, and excellent answer. It's more about just not profits as a business, but yes, much a larger vision of accepting such people is also very necessary. Great, superb. So I believe we have a couple of more questions, but maybe Saumya, I understand it's as already time. I'll share a couple of one or two more questions I've received from one Ms. Arka Samantha and one from Mr. Ramakrishnan. So the two people have asked the questions, but shall I share those questions later to you? Is that okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And then, so for Arka, name is for Arka Samantha as well as Ramakrishnan, we will share, we will take up your questions and we will share your answers through Dr. Saumya through an email, and we shall send it to you. That will really add value. Thank you very much. So on this note, now members and visitors, now we come to a quick summary of the program. Let us understand what all we have taken the insights from Dr. Saumya. And for the summary, I would request Mr. Nellai Nayagam, who is from Orlikon, India, who's into the who's a quality head, to be as a part of summarizing the complete discussions what we have had. Yes, Mr. Nellai, over to you.
Good evening, one and all.
Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your valuable insights. Yeah, and the key points I just would like to brief here. And the point number one is diversity is a misconception limited to gender, region, caste, and beyond the box of LGBTQ. And the second one is ecosystem for a transgender community to be considered on a government scheme and government missionaries and skill-based schools and insurance and manufacturing, and as well as industries, as well as on lifestyle changes. Wow. And third, even security has to treat them without a gender based like nurses or doctors. We all have to adapt on the new ecosystem like special ability people. And 4, and have to find suitable practical solutions for the third gender, like challenges on restroom addressed, like changing executive restroom in each floor. And embrace the diversity by the spokesperson or influencer going to convert the environmental by like a pride or influence or sensitization or empathy and sympathy, and as well as the top management involvement. This is a process over a period, and then our mindset has to adapt for the new custom or discipline and environmental by doing unlearn and relearn from our existing thoughts. And the last one, the respecting third gender to be set and to be trained.
Super.
Thanks to Mr. Prakash Sharma sir, and for this great opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Great, great. Thanks very much, Nellai. That is a quick bullet points which you are summarizing what all, in fact, Dr. Saumya told. In fact, with all these experience, I'm sure all the members and visitors, I'm sure you have got a lot of insights. Let's go back in our respective organizations. Let's see how can we start getting in the inclusivity, and let's start including such people. Let's start interacting with our people at our respective organizations, which will add value. Great. So with that, I will also request Dr. David Selvaraj to share a thank you note to all our visitors, guests, Dr. Saumya Badgayan, as well as to all our members who are here. So David, quickly do share. And David is the heading a company called Phoenicia Facility Management Services. And David, over to you. Quickly share.
Thanks, Prakash. Before I get on to word of thanks, I cannot help saying, Dr. Saumya, it was a Bob session.
Thank you.
Wonderfully handled. Your real life experiences and examples you gave and the solutions you provided were simply amazing. Thank you. Now, for the next week episode, let me quickly share again the purpose of the community. For the visitors who are attending first time, Leaders Connect is an online leadership community where every week on a Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., we invite a top management leader from a reputed corporate company to share the solutions for our real-time leadership challenges, either on leading self, leading others, or leading your business, like how we have seen Dr. Saumya handled it today. The Leaders Connect online leadership community does not stop in sharing the solutions alone every week, but we also have a reflections episode to track the learning and convert it to an action plan on the last Wednesday of every month, where we also network with the like-minded working professionals who are interested in their constant growth. That's when we call it as Leaders Creating More Leaders. If you wish to join our community, please click on WhatsApp group link, which is on your chat box, and you will be able to join us to receive weekly updates, or call us on the number shared on the WhatsApp, and then we will add you in our community. For the members, do remember to write your learning and action plan on your respective login credentials shared with you, and also connect with other members to network. Now, I'm happy to introduce that the next week is our reflection episode of Leaders Connect, and we have a panel discussion meeting with 4 members. Members who wish to be part of the panel discussion can give your names on the WhatsApp group or kindly interact with Mr. Prakash Sharma. Please do click on the link on the chat box to register yourself for our next episode. And Dr. Saumya, my sincere thanks on behalf of all of us here today for the time you spent with us and for wonderful examples you gave. A great topic and greatly shared. In fact, diversity in I know for sure is thank you, ma'am. For our guests and all the visitors and members, we have a special thanking video for you. After the video, I shall get back to you. Now the thanking video, please. Well, thank you all. Meet you next week. Have a safe and a great week ahead. We wish the members and visitors to stay back for networking for another 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank
I
you
would
very
like
much.
to thank Prakash ji as well as Mr. Devarayan. That was an amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Saumya.
Thank you.
It's been really great. Thank you for that.
May I leave?
Yes, Dr. Saumya.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
want to have
you.
a quick networking. That's please.
Yeah. Take good care of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. So yes, members, it's now the networking time. So now is the time where you can either share your views, I'm sure, about the diversity in workplace. If you wish to share about your company's experiences, this is the time to share. Introduce yourself so that we all know each other and we'll be able to help each other in terms of creating more leaders. So yes,
Prakash,
yes.
I think few of the new faces I could see. Renuka joined first, and welcome to Renuka. Not able to forget the food the other day in your guest house. Good, and one Alagu Lakshmanan also have joined. I think.
Yeah. Hi, Renuka, how are you?
Okay, so Renuka, so it's over to you. How do you feel? And I think you can able to unmute.
Yeah, I've given the option, Renuka, kindly unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, Prakash, and Devarayan, it was wonderful actually to be back. And somehow I kept missing every Wednesday because of some appointments or the other. So I'm sure that going forward, I'll really make it.
Great, great. Thanks, Renuka, always. Yeah.
And
So we have the other people as well. Yes, yes, Umesh, please go ahead.
Murli BV from Femur India Private Limited. He is also joined. And Murli, I think you can have a quick introduction by switching on video.
I'm sorry. I'm driving right now. I'm driving and then taking this call. So
Oh, great.
I cannot switch on my video now, at least. So I think this is my first attendance to this session. I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably, I think I would join the future sessions as well, which makes more interesting for me to learn more and contribute more to the community.
Great.
So thanks.
Thanks very much, Murli. If you could just know more about yourself, Murli, that will help.
Yeah. Basically, I'm heading the supply chain for Femur in India. Basically, I have an overall experience of close to 22 years of experience in supply chain management. And basically, we manufacture solar inverters. Basically, it's into renewable business. We manufacture the solar inverters in our Bangalore plant, and we ship it across the world.
Wonderful.
So this is in brief about myself.
Great, Murli. Nice having you in our community. Please feel free to keep joining us every week. I'm sure we together can create more and more leaders, and we all can keep sharing our experiences and views. And it'll be helpful for us to network as well, Murli.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we also have Mr. Giri Selvaraj. Mr. Giri, if you are here, you'd like to speak and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, yes, Mr.
My
Giri.
name is Giri. I am the director of your auto system. The total is 2,000 plus happy and delightful customers.
Oh,
Since I have started 5 verticals. Am I audible?
Yes, your voice is breaking.
Am I audible, sir?
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah, right now, actually, I am traveling from car actually.
Oh, okay.
Can I speak now?
Yes, now it's clear. Please go ahead, Giri.
Yeah. My concept is create an awareness about the water management. Since water is the second powerful element, it has not been properly used. We all know that Zero Water Day came in South Africa Cape Town. 2019, Chennai faced that issues. Right now, we are having more water. The water management is very poor. So we are creating awareness and renewable energy. Also, we are concentrating with the second verticals, Green Power Corporation and Technology. Like that, 3 more verticals are in pipeline. My concept is to create 5 verticals versus 5 elements.
Wonderful, Giri.
This is my small introduction, sir. Thank you.
May I know who is invited you, Mr. Giri?
I think one of my Facebook friend, actually, I forget his name, actually.
Great.
When I was scrolling on Facebook, I have seen my Facebook friend has sent the link, actually.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, thank you,
That's
sir.
fine, Giri. Nice knowing you. Thank
Before that, I think someone has spoke about the renewable energy. Can I get his number? Definitely, we will collaborate with them.
About the renewable energy.
Yes, sir. Before me.
No, that was renewable energy before you. Now only we spoke, sir.
Murli BV.
About Hitachi Energy, Umesh.
No, Murli BV.
Murli.
About Murli.
Yes.
Okay. So Umesh,
Mr. Murli, can you please share your number? I will get in touch with you.
Sure.
Sure. Definitely. I'll share my number.
Thank you, sir.
That'd be great. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Giri, for sharing. That's awesome. And
thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you very much, Ramakrishnan. Is not on Ramakrishnan. Ramakrishnan also came, but I believe he is now left. Raghuraman is here. Dr. Raghuram, happy to have you back again, sir. Happy that you are joining us from London. But okay, maybe he was there at that point of time, but nevertheless, good. Great. Others who would like to share any points, any of the viewpoints who would like to share on the topic, also feel free. Any of the people who joined new or invited, please take up and then invite them. Great. Wonderful.
Yeah, maybe like I think there are a couple of questions in the chat box, right? Like as you said that you can share it with Dr. Saumya, and
yes.
Maybe in the next week reflection section, maybe as discussed last time, we may also have to take a few questions which is not answered during this sessions. So we may try to give some solutions on that.
Definitely. So the questions which is also missed out in answering it by Dr. Saumya, we will definitely take it up in the reflection episode next week. And next week, we're just doing it a little more differently. I would request all the people's help. I would definitely talk to you all separately on a call. Yeah, how differently we're doing, we'll get to know. But who would like to be a part of the panel discussion, please ping me. We'll take a little differently next week. Yeah.
Sure.
Good.
Sure.
So,
thank
else?
you.
Thanks very much. So, thanks very much, Nalayagam, for the quick summary. That is really awesome. And I believe Abhirambika has left. Rekha Jain, thanks very much for joining in. But yeah, nevertheless, there was a connectivity challenges, I understand. But maybe next week we can take up the quiz, Rekha. Yeah. So good. Is Suresh still available? If Suresh is available, you want to speak, feel free. Else we'll come to a close and we will sum up for today. Okay, I believe it's done.
Thanks, Prakash. I'll also be leaving. I've got a call to attend.
Yes, thanks very much, Renuka.
Thank you.
Nice having you, and we will meet up again. Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Renuka. Keep coming.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Great then. So thank you all, and have a nice evening, and meet you all again next week. But let's stay connected on WhatsApp. All right. Thank you all. Take care.
Sure. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir. Thank you all. Bye.